Welcome to Like Whatever, a podcast for, by, and about Gen X. This is Nicole, and this is my BFFF, Heather.
Hey, you got the extra F in there today.
I did.
How about it?
I was very conscious of it.
How about it?
So, how was your week?
It was, it's really hot.
It is. It's crazy hot here.
Crazy hot. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like Arizona hot here.
Yeah.
And we have humidity in Arizona. That's
No, you can literally chew the air right now
You
here.
can.
It's ridiculous.
You step outside and you're immediately sopped in sweat.
It's so gross. Like you can't even get in the car. It's just literally when I got in the car today, it's at 111
Wow.
when I left work.
Yep.
Yeah.
I still stand by, though, that I'm a summer person and I hate the winters. I will take this weather all day long over being cold.
I would rather be cold. You can put more clothes on. You can only get so naked.
Yeah, but sometimes when I get cold to the bone and I just cannot.
But you can get in a hot shower. Okay. Agree to disagree. So the one thing we disagree on. I am a winter person.
Yes.
I'm not built for summer. It's ridiculous.
True. Summer is definitely not your thing.
No, it's also this week was the anniversary of Jaws.
Yes. Happy 50.
I know. I love that movie. I watched it. I've watched it like 3 times this week. I forget what else I watched too.
There's I posted it on our socials. There's a 50th anniversary documentary coming out on Nat Geo. In July. I don't remember when, but the whole making of it, Spielberg's, in it. And, it looks, they talk in the commercial about how the shark didn't work half the time. And so I am
that worked.
Really excited for that.
That's the reason that movie worked, because the shark didn't work.
Well, and that's what Spielberg says in the commercial too. He said the movie I thought that was going to end my career launched this huge career for me.
I mean, Jaws is just, just one of those. Just the greatest movie ever made. I don't care.
It really is.
It's perfect.
I love it.
What else? We bombed Iran.
Yeah, that was fun to wake up to Monday morning. Was it Monday morning or Sunday morning?
I don't remember. I don't know. All the days just run together.
I know.
All the nonsense just runs together. At this point.
No, when I went to bed last night that I was going to wake up to World War III the next day. Somebody could have warned me.
What a turn of events. Is it 1994 again? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the thing that's happening.
I am going to pull a Heather here and take leave of explaining my week.
Yes.
Because it has been a week.
She's had a week. And
I will share with all of you at some point, but I am not ready at this point. But know that I am good.
And I never do anything during the week, so I'm the most boring person ever on the planet. I didn't. Oh, no. I know what I did this week. My casino app. Mm-hmm. And I found out that there's poker tournaments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I've done some poker tournaments.
How have you done?
Not great. Well, not too bad. I came in 19th on one and 23 on another. And then, but I did I had enough points to do a slot tournament, and I was like, I'll do that because I didn't want to put any more money on there. Mm-hmm. And I ended up coming in second place on that, and I ended up winning $30. So
yay.
I know. That was exciting.
Yeah, I love playing poker, but I get in my own head. I cannot fold a pair. I don't care how low it is. And I know that is not the right thing to do.
My issue is slow playing.
Yeah.
It's hard to slow play.
Yes. Yes.
But I like it. It's fun. They do have some free tournaments on there.
Okay.
Ticket rolls or something.
Yeah.
I haven't tried that because if I'm going to play, I want to win. But it's like $200 you win for $5 buy-in.
To come in first?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have to win it.
Oh.
It's all or nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are they all or nothing?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. But it's if you're guaranteed 200 if you win, and it goes up. The more people that join, it goes up. So at one point it was up to like almost $400.
Yeah, see, I'm definitely not good enough to win. I could maybe get lucky and end up in a top 10 or a top 5, maybe. But yeah.
It's been so long that I've played. So
I've played with a lot of really good poker players, like guys who go to casinos and stuff and sit down and do those hours-long tournaments and win. So I know how bad I am, and I know how good other people are.
If you ever play with Nicole and realize she doesn't fold a pair,
so if I keep calling you,
she probably got a pair.
I probably have a pair of threes.
So just
praying that another three hits.
She's a bluffer.
Yeah, I'm not really good at that either. My anxiety gets me, and I start getting antsy.
They still do it. Around here, it's a poker club, I guess, kind of a thing where it's free, and it's in the different bars and restaurants, and you go and yeah. Anyway, so my dad and I would go all the time, and as less people are there, they move tables, they condense the tables down so that you're not. It starts out really big, and it's basically a big poker tournament,
right?
But it's free, and then the top. I want to say it's the top 3 or 4 get the winner. You earn points, and then like if you get so many points, it gets you into a tournament in Dover. I did get into it. If you win the table, you automatically get a tournament entry in Dover. And anyway, so that I never sat. He brought me in. It's his fault. He was like, "You should come play." So I did, and then like my 4th or 5th time there. We ended up at the same table, and everybody knew him because he had been playing for like a year when I came in, and they all just was like, and then of course what happens, but he and I have to have a showdown.
Oh no!
Where everybody else, and everybody's like, "Ooh, how's this gonna go?" And I bluffed him, and I won. And everybody at the table was like, "Oh, damn, she bluffed you and she won, blah, blah, blah." And I was like, he never knows when I was lying to him. And he was like, "You think that?" And I was like, "I just proved it." But it was good fun. So I should do that again. Anyway, it's called Poker at the Beach, and it's a lot of fun.
I would enjoy that sometime.
Yeah, we should do it. It is a lot of fun. I'll check and see where I know it's just down here.
Yeah, but we'll wait till the winter.
Yeah,
there's far too many people down here.
It's very limited in the summer here anyway.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's because you're taking up like the whole point of it is, a lot of these restaurants and bars didn't have a whole lot of people in there in the winter time, and it brings people in. You're eating and drinking and whatever.
That's smart.
It really was smart. Anyway, so yeah, that's our time.
Yep. So before she gets started, which by the way, I literally at this time right now have no idea what the topic is tonight because
I didn't tell her.
She didn't tell me, and my head's been in a million different places this week, and I didn't even think to ask. So, but anyway, please rate, review. It really does help us on any of the outlets that you use to listen to your podcast or on social medias. We would like to get our followings up high enough so that maybe we can start making a little money off of our socials. It's starting to slowly grow again. It went through like a growth spurt and then it plateaued for a little bit and it's starting to grow again. But we are on all the socials. If you'd like to email us, anyway, on all the socials at likewhateverpod. And you can email us at likewhateverpod@gmail.com. And please just click that little 5th star.
There you go. Okay. So it is my week. And I actually knew what my subject was going to be before we did last week's episode.
You know what? I just thought of my next week. And I'm not telling you what it is.
Oh, damn it. I'll ask her 500 times. I don't like to be surprised.
She will. She has to know.
I have to know. So we are going to fuck around and find out about Tyson and Holyfield. Oh, I know. You'll be so excited.
I named my cat after Mike Tyson.
I know.
Aww.
I got my information from a whole bunch of different Britannica.com, Sports Illustrated. There was a ton of different. Yeah. So Evander the Real Deal Holyfield was born October 19th, 1962 in Atmore, Alabama, the youngest of 9, raised in Atlanta. He began boxing at age 7 and won the Boys Club boxing tournament. At 13, he qualified to compete in his first Junior Olympics. By 15, Holyfield became the Southeastern Regional Champion, winning the tournament and the Best Boxer award. By 84, he had a record of 160 wins and 14 losses, with 76 by knockout. When he was 20, Holyfield represented the U.S. in the 1983 Pan American Games in Caracas, Venezuela, where he won a silver medal after losing to Cuban world champion Pablo Romero. Following year, he was the National Golden Gloves champion and won a bronze medal in the 1984 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Holyfield started out professionally as a light heavyweight with a televised win in 6 rounds over Lionel Byram at Madison Square Garden on November 15th, 1984. On January 20th, 1985, he won another 6-round decision over Eric Winbush in Atlantic City. On March 13th, he knocked out Fred Brown in the first round in Norfolk, Virginia. And on April 20th, he knocked out Mark Rivera. So what I thought I was probably should have said this in the beginning. But here we are. I'm just going to do both of their careers up until that. And then, yes.
Yeah.
So hang on.
I love it.
You get to know all about Holyfield.
My dad loved boxing, so I grew up watching
there you go.
boxing. So I have an affinity for it. I'm not particularly into fighting like UFC stuff like that. I'm not into, but I do like a good boxing match.
I don't mind boxing. It's not my favorite thing to watch, but I will. If it's on, I'll watch it.
Yeah,
which is weird because Rocky is my favorite movie.
True. But that's a love story, not a boxing
That's a
movie.
good point. Moving on March 13th, he knocked out Fred Brown in the first round in Norfolk, Virginia. And on April 20th, he knocked out Mark Rivera in 2 rounds in Corpus Christi. Both he and his next opponent, Tyrone Booz, moved up to the cruiserweight division for their fight on July 20th, 1985 in Norfolk. Holyfield won an 8-round decision over Booz. He then went on to knock out Rick Myers in the first round on August 29th in his hometown of Atlanta. On October 30th in Atlantic City, Holyfield knocked out opponent Jeff Meacham in 5 rounds, and his last fight for 1985 was against Anthony Davis on December 21st in Virginia Beach. He began 86 with a knockout in 3 rounds over former world cruiserweight challenger, this one I'll not know, Chisandro Moody, and proceeded to beat Jesse Shelby and Terry Mims before he was given a world title try by the WBA cruiserweight champion Dwight Muhammad Kawhi. In what was called by The Ring as the best cruiserweight bout of the 1980s, Holyfield became world champion by defeating Kawhi by a narrow 15-round split decision. He culminated 86 with a trip to Paris, where he beat Mike Brothers by a knockout in 3 in a non-title bout. In 87, he defended his title against former Olympic teammate and gold medal winner Harry Tillman, who had beaten Mike Tyson twice as an amateur. He retained his belt, winning by 7th round knockout, and then went on to unify his WBA belt with the IBF belt held by Ricky Parquet, knocking Parquet out in 3 rounds. For his next bout, he returned to France, where he retained the title with an 11-round knockout against former world champion Ozzy Osco. In the last fight of 1987, he offered Muhammad Kawhi a rematch, and this time he beat Kawhi by knockout in only 4 rounds. I didn't think I knew he was this good.
Yeah.
I guess I did, but
I mean, yeah, of course he was, but I didn't follow it. As a kid, I didn't know stats and who they're playing and how good they are. But
Tyson kind of took over the whole stratosphere.
Tyson was just his own entity.
Yeah.
He just
took over the whole.
Yeah.
Yeah. 88 was another product. Well, that's why I did so much on Holyfield, because you mostly know. And actually, to be perfectly honest, up until their fight, there was not a whole lot of this kind of stuff on Tyson. It was hard to, it was just
I think he just really kind of came up on the streets and then just hit the ground running when he got into the professional.
88 was another productive year for Holyfield. He started by becoming the first universally recognized world cruiserweight champion after defeating the lineal and WBC champion Carlos De Leon at Las Vegas. The fight was stopped after 8 rounds. After that fight, he announced he was moving up in weight to pursue the World Heavyweight Championship held by Tyson. His first fight as a heavyweight took place on July 16th when he beat former Tyson rival James Quick Tillis by a knockout in 5 in Lake Tahoe. Tillis had gone the distance with Tyson. For his third and final bout of 88, he beat former heavyweight champion Pinklin Thompson, also by knockout in 7 rounds.
I do love a knockout, man.
Yeah.
When they hit the ground and they have no idea where they are.
Yeah.
It's my favorite. And I know that is so savage, but
hey, that's the game. That's
yeah,
the
they
sport.
chose to be in there.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Holyfield began 89 meeting another former heavyweight champion, Michael Dokes. The fight was named one of the best fights of the 80s by Ring Magazine. Boy, Holyfield just had all the good fights. As best heavyweight bout of the 1980s, Holyfield won by a knockout in the 10th, and then he met Brazilian champion Addison Rodriguez, who lasted 2 rounds. His last fight of the 80s was against Alex Stewart, a hard-punching fringe contender. Stewart shocked Holyfield early with quick hard punches, but eventually fell in 8. Holyfield had been promised a title shot against Tyson in 1990. Before that fight could occur, in what many consider to be the biggest upset in boxing history, relatively unknown boxer, 29-year-old, 231-pound Buster Douglas, defeated the 23-year-old, 218-pound Mike Tyson in 10 rounds in Tokyo to become the new undisputed heavyweight champion. Instead of fighting Tyson, Holyfield was Douglas's first title defense. So they met October 25th, 1990. Douglas came into the fight at 246 pounds and offered little in a fight against Holyfield, who was in ideal shape at 208 pounds. In the 3rd round, Douglas tried to start a combination with a big right uppercut. Holyfield countered with a straight right hand, and Douglas went down for the count.
love it.
Holyfield was the new undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. At the time of the knockout, Holyfield was ahead on all 3 judges' scorecards. Also, I think I do remember, like, this time, did fights ever go longer than 3 rounds? I mean, everybody got knocked out in like the 3rd. It seemed like it was never.
It does feel like back then it used to be.
Just boom.
Yeah.
Nobody.
And I don't know if boxers just are. Well, I feel like all athletes are bigger, faster, stronger now.
Yeah.
Just because, they don't smoke and drink in the gym, and
that's true.
they eat very, very, very selective diets, and
that is true.
There's all this other stuff. So maybe they just have more stamina now.
Maybe. I don't know. I just feel like
I feel like back then, like, the strongest guy won, like, hands down.
Yeah.
And now it's like you could compete if you work hard enough.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
Don't smoke and drink in the gym.
Well, I know baseball players did that, and football players did that.
I'm sure all of them did.
Yeah.
I mean, Mickey smoked a cigar the whole time.
Yeah.
I know he's not real, everybody, but shut up. In his first defense, he beat former and future world champion George Foreman by unanimous decision. The fight was billed as a battle for the ages, a reference to the age difference between the young undefeated champion, who was 28, and the much older George Foreman, who was 42. Mm-hmm. I remember that one.
Yeah, I like George Foreman.
I like George Foreman. Holyfield weighed in at 208 pounds, and Foreman weighed in at 257. I do remember them, like, I don't know that maybe he took that one so serious. Whatever.
Yeah. He probably thought it was an old man.
Yeah. Foreman lost the fight by a unanimous decision, but surprised many by lasting the whole 12 rounds against a much younger opponent, even staggering Holyfield a few times and knocking him off balance in the 7th round. Then a deal was signed for him to defend his crown against Mike Tyson in November of 91. Tyson delayed the fight, claiming he was injured in training, but was then convicted for the rape of Desiree Washington and sentenced to 6 years in prison. So the fight did not happen at that time. They did fight in 96. Holyfield won by a TKO in 11, and a rematch in 97, which I will go into later.
Okay.
92, he faced 42-year-old former heavyweight champion Larry Holmes and had just pulled off an upset against Ray Mercer. During the bout, Holyfield suffered the first scar of his career with a gash opening up over his eye, the result of Holmes' elbow.
His first scar.
Yeah. The fight ended with a unanimous decision in favor of Holyfield. In the beginning of a trilogy of bouts with the 25-year-old Riddick Bowe, who had won a silver medal in the 88 Olympics in the super heavyweight division, he suffered his first defeat when Bowe won the undisputed title by a 12-round unanimous decision in Vegas. Round 10 of that bout was named the round of the year by The Ring. Holyfield was knocked down in round 11. He made the mistake of getting into a slugfest with the younger, bigger, and stronger Bowe, leading to his defeat. He began at 93 by beating Alex Stewart in a rematch, but this time it was a 12-round unanimous decision. The second of the Bowe Holyfield saga was November 6, 93, in what is considered by many sporting historians as one of the most bizarre moments in boxing's history. During round 7, the crowd got off their feet and many people started to run for cover and yell. Holyfield took his eyes off Bowe for one moment and then told Bowe to look up to the skies. What they saw was a man in a parachute flying dangerously close to them.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. The man almost entered the ring, but his parachute had gotten entangled in the lights, and he landed on the ropes and apron of the ring.
What an idiot.
Yes. He was then pulled into the crowd where he was beaten by members of Bowe's entourage.
Oh, shit. There was testosterone flying everywhere.
Bowe's pregnant wife, Judy, fainted, and he had to be taken to the hospital from the arena. 20 minutes later, calm was restored, and Holyfield went on to recover his world heavyweight title with a close 12-round majority decision.
Do you know why the guy came down in the parachute?
No. The man who parachuted down to the middle of the ring became known as the Fan Man, and the fight itself became known as the Fan Man fight.
Oh, okay. So he just wanted to...
I guess he just wanted to
He was trying to be Insta-famous.
I guess.
Go viral.
Yeah, he did go viral. Oh, okay. So Holyfield's victory over Bowe that year helped Holyfield be named as ABC is because it's WB. ABC's Wide World of Sports Athlete of the Year for 1993.
I love the Wide World of Sports.
Yeah, I know. Is this still on?
I seriously doubt it with all the sports channels and stuff that are on.
In 1990, Holyfield beat Seamus McDonnell, knocking him out in 4 rounds. By this time, Holyfield had been Ring Magazine's #1 contender for 2 years and had yet to receive a shot at Tyson's heavyweight title. His next fight, April 94, he met former WBO light heavyweight Michael Moorer, who was attempting to become the first southpaw to become the universally recognized world heavyweight champion. He dropped Moorer in round 2, but lost a 12-round majority decision. When he went to the hospital to have his shoulder checked, he was diagnosed with a heart condition and had to announce his retirement from boxing. It later surfaced that the chairman of the medical advisory board for the Nevada State Athletic Commission believed his condition to be consistent with HGH use.
Cheater.
Yeah. However, watching a television show hosted by preacher Benny Hinn, do you remember Benny Hinn?
I do remember Benny Hinn.
Holyfield says he felt his heart heal.
Oh.
He and Hinn subsequently became friends, and he became a frequent visitor to Hinn's crusades. In fact, during this time, Holyfield went to a Benny Hinn crusade in Philadelphia. He had Hinn lay hands on him and gave Hinn a check for $265,000 after he was told he was healed. He then passed his next examination by the boxing commission. So I don't know, I guess he was healed.
Apparently.
But he did later state that his heart was misdiagnosed due to the morphine pumped into his body. He returned to the ring with a 10-round decision versus former Olympic gold medalist Ray Mercer in 95. And he was the first man to knock down Mercer. And then Holyfield and Bowe had their rubber match. Holyfield knocked Bowe down with a single left hook, but Bowe prevailed by a knockout in 8. Holyfield later claimed that he contracted hepatitis before the fight. In 1996, Holyfield met former world champion Bobby Size, beating him by a knockout in 6.
Wait, what'd you say about hepatitis?
Holyfield claimed he had contracted hepatitis before the fight. I guess that's why he didn't win. I don't know.
He probably shouldn't have been fighting.
I feel like that's probably just an excuse.
Did the guy who fought with get hepatitis?
No, I think it was just a excuse. Why?
Because I know you can get hepatitis from like getting tattoos if things aren't clean.
Yeah.
One of the types of hepatitis.
It didn't say anything about him actually.
I think you can get it from like the dentist. So I know it's passed through bodily fluids and things. So.
I don't think he actually had it. I think he was just saying that because he lost.
Oh, and he'd been punched in the head too many times to realize
and
that.
was like, oh, wait.
No, I meant the flu.
Kidding.
I meant the flu.
I got it all. I'm very sick. That's why I didn't win. Tyson had recovered the WBC and WBA heavyweight championship, and after being stripped of the WBC title for not facing Lennox Lewis, defended the WBA title against Holyfield on November 9th of that year. Tyson was heavily favored to win, but Holyfield made history by defeating Tyson in an 11th round TKO. This was the third occasion on which Holyfield won the WBA heavyweight title. However, the fight was not recognized as being for the lineal championship, which was held by George Foreman at the time. He is the only professional fighter to win the heavyweight championship 4 separate times and thereby surpasses the record of Muhammad Ali, who won it 3 times. Oh. As an amateur boxer, Holyfield compiled a record of 160-14 and won the National Golden Gloves Championship. I told you all that. Bronze medals.
Blah, blah, blah.
Yes. Michael Gerard Tyson was born June 30th, 1966.
I did not know his middle name was Gerard.
No, you do.
What year? 1966.
Okay. He is a former American professional boxer who competed between 85 and 2024. Mm-hmm. In case you don't remember 2024.
Yeah, I knew that wasn't going to be a good idea.
Was so stupid.
Well, it's all just a money grab now.
Yes.
It's so annoying.
I really wanted him to kill that kid, though.
I know. What was it? One of the Paul brothers?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Jake Paul. I wanted him to kill that kid. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I know I just put that on the internet or in the world. But I wanted him to kill that kid.
I know. And I honestly thought Tyson would have a chance, but I guess that was just fantasy in my head. Like, there's just no way you're going to beat somebody that much younger than you. Not in that sport.
No, he's just too old.
Yeah.
Nicknamed Iron Mike and Kid Dynamite in his early career and later known as the baddest man on the planet, Tyson is regarded as one of the greatest heavyweight boxers of all time. Mm-hmm. He reigned as the undisputed world heavyweight champion from 87 to 90. He was born in Fort Greene, Brooklyn, New York City on June 30th. 1966. He has an older brother named Rodney and an older sister named Denise, who died of a heart attack at age 24 in 1990. Tyson's mother, you can really see how Tyson got to where.
Oh, he had a really rough upbringing.
He really did not have a good time of it.
No.
Heart attack in 20. Tyson's mother, born in Charlottesville, Virginia, was described as a promiscuous woman who might have been a prostitute. Mm. Tyson's biological father is listed as Purcell Tyson, a humble cab driver who was from Jamaica. It's on his birth certificate, but the man Tyson had known as his father was a pimp named Jimmy Kirkpatrick. Mm. Kirkpatrick was from Greertown, North Carolina. That's a city that was annexed by the city of Charlotte, where he was one of the neighborhood's top baseball players. Kirkpatrick married and had a son, Tyson's half-brother, Jimmy Lee, who would help to integrate Charlotte high school football in 1965.
So that's where he gets his athleticism from. His dad was a ball player?
No. That's his...
Oh, the man who raised him.
Yeah, and his half-brother was a baseball player. The man who raised him was a pimp.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. My brain's kind of going in 50 different directions right now. I might jump off focus a little bit here.
That's okay. It's kind of hard to follow anyway. It's a real shame.
I am paying attention though.
Jimmy Kirkpatrick left his family and moved to Brooklyn, where he met Tyson's mother. He frequented pool halls, gambled, and hung out on the streets.
My kind of guy.
My father was just a regular street guy caught up in the street world, Tyson said. Kirkpatrick abandoned the Tyson family around the time Mike was born, leaving Tyson's mother to care for the children on her own. He died in 92. So he was not pimping. He's not big pimping. The family lived.
Pimping ain't easy.
No, it's not. It's not easy out here for a pimp.
Oh my God. Speaking of which, I just watched The Other Guys the other night again. Have you ever seen that with Will Ferrell and Marky Mark?
No.
Dude, it's so funny. Like, I'm not even worried about like spoiler alerts because the movie's old, but they're both cops, and Will Ferrell's a very nerdy desk cop. He like has a wooden gun. They don't even give him a real gun and stuff. And he's married to Ava Mendes, who I just think is one of the most stunningly beautiful people in the world. Yes. And he acts like she's just plain. And Marky Mark is always so funny because he was like, "Is that really your wife?" Like, but anyway, Will Ferrell was a pimp in college. And she was the nurse when he came in. He had like something in his butthole or something. He came into the hospital and she was his nurse, and that's how they met and got married. So it's just
hard to see.
So when I think of pimps, that's what I think of.
Did he have the big feather in his hat? Because that's what I think of when I think of
She sings a song. She holds his head to her breast and sings a song called "Pimps Don't Cry." It's very sweet.
Big pimping. The family lived in the Bed-Stuy and neighborhood until their financial burdens necessitated a move to Brownsville when Tyson was 10. Throughout his childhood, Tyson lived in and around neighborhoods with a high rate of crime. According to an interview in details, his first fight was with a bigger youth who had pulled the head off of one of Tyson's pigeons, which I think we all know. Tyson loves his pigeons.
He does.
Which, it's crazy, but it's not.
I don't see it as crazy at all. Like if he has a passion for animals, he probably couldn't have pets because his mom probably couldn't afford them. And there are pigeons all over the street, so he probably connected with them there.
This is I always think pigeon raising fascinates me.
I know.
It's just so fucking fascinating.
Yeah,
especially racing pigeons.
They're very smart birds.
Yes, it's a shame too because they're not an unattractive bird when they're clean.
No, but they're seen as like city rats. Yeah. Like they're just. Yeah.
It's a shame they get.
I had doves and pigeons are kind of the same. I had some doves. Out in my yard, and they're so cute.
They cry. When they cry, this is what it sounds like.
My favorite Prince song.
Yes. Tyson was repeatedly caught committing petty crimes and fighting those who ridiculed his high-pitched voice and lisp. And that's I get that, man. That probably.
I mean, he owns that voice and lisp now, but I can't even fathom growing up.
I mean, it's no wonder he grew up. Like, it's no wonder he had to be a fighter.
Yeah.
With that voice.
He had to have gotten picked on all the time.
With that voice, with that lisp, and then raising pigeons on top of it. Like, I feel like he had a lot.
Yeah.
That he was trying to overcome.
Yeah.
By the time he was 13, he had been arrested 38 times. He ended up at the Tryon School for Boys in Johnstown, New York. Tyson's emerging boxing ability was discovered there by Bobby Stewart, a juvenile detention center counselor and former boxer. Stewart considered Tyson to be an outstanding fighter and trained him for a few months before introducing him to boxing manager and trainer Cus D'Amato.
My favorite people in the world are ones who find the potential in a kid, and help them fulfill that. Like, it's part of what I do for my job, but just hearing like a common man, just a regular person, just, hey, you're getting into trouble.
Yeah, I
see you're good at this.
Let's put this to good use.
Let's give you an outlet to put all your rage and
Tyson dropped out of high school as a junior. He was later awarded an honorary doctorate in humane letters from Central State University in 1989.
89 seems a bit early for an
I think they mean
honorable
Cus
degree.
D'Amato, honestly. I might have screwed that up.
Okay.
I'll just take
Well, we never promised the truth,
No,
so.
I never said I was going to tell the truth.
Especially Heather. Yeah. I try to be factual, but
I don't. I just make shit up.
She whatever sounds the best.
Yeah. Whatever. Kevin Rooney also trained Tyson, and he was occasionally assisted by Teddy Atlas. Although Atlas was dismissed by D'Amato when Tyson was 15, Rooney eventually took over all training duties for the young fighter. Tyson's mother died when he was 16, leaving him in the care of D'Amato, who had become his legal guardian. Tyson later said, "I never saw my mother happy with me and proud of me for doing something. She only knew me as being a wild kid running the streets, coming home with new clothes that she knew I didn't pay for."
Well, and it's a shame that he feels that way, because I don't want to say like it's her fault, but his upbringing is what caused him to do these things.
Yes. She didn't help. How about
she didn't help. Exact. But I'm sure she did the best she could with what she had.
Big pimpin'. He said, "I never got a chance to talk to her or know about her. Professionally, it has no effect, but it's crushing emotionally and personally." As an amateur, Tyson won gold medals at the 81 and 82 Junior Olympic Games, defeating Joe Cortez in 81 and beating Kelton Brown in 82. In 1984, Tyson won the gold medal at the National Golden Gloves held in New York, beating Jonathan Littles. He fought Henry Tillman twice as an amateur, losing both bouts by decision. Tillman went on to win heavyweight gold at the 84 Summer Olympics in Los Angeles. Tyson made his professional debut as an 18-year-old on March 6, 1985 in Albany, New York. He defeated Hector Mercedes via first-round TKO. He had 15 bouts in his first year as a professional. Fighting frequently, Tyson won 26 of his first 28 fights by knockout or TKO. 16 of those came in the first round.
I'm not a fan of the TKO. I want to see a knockout.
The quality of his opponents gradually increased to journeyman fighters and borderline contenders like James Tillis, David Jocko, Jesse Ferguson, Mitch Green, and Marvis Frazier. His win streak attracted media attention, and Tyson was billed as the next great heavyweight champion. D'Amato died in November of 85, relatively early into Tyson's professional career, and some speculate that his death was the catalyst to many of the troubles Tyson was to experience as his life and career progressed. Tyson's first nationally televised bout took place on February 16, 1986, at Houston Fieldhouse in Troy, New York, against journeyman heavyweight Jesse Ferguson, and was carried by ABC Sports. Tyson knocked down Ferguson with an uppercut in the 5th round that broke Ferguson's nose. During the 6th round, Ferguson began to hold and clinch Tyson in an apparent attempt to avoid further punishment. After admonishing Ferguson several times to obey his commands to box, the referee finally stopped the fight near the middle of the 6th round. The fight was initially ruled a win for Tyson by disqualification of his opponent. The ruling was adjusted to a win by technical knockout after Tyson's corner protested that a DQ win would end Tyson's string of knockout victories, and that a knockout would have been the inevitable result. In July, after recording 6 more knockout victories, Tyson fought former world title challenger Marvis Frazier in Glen Falls, New York, on another ABC Sports broadcast. Tyson won easily, charging at Frazier at the opening bell and hitting with 2 consecutive uppercuts, the second of which knocked Frazier unconscious 30 seconds into the fight. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Although I thought they were all pay-per-view.
What year was it?
90s. 90s. 80s.
Did they have pay-per-view back then?
Of course. Yeah, because you could watch WWF. It's now WWE.
Yeah, but I thought all that was just televised. I didn't think they used to make you pay for all that stuff.
I think you could. I want to say like WrestleManias were all pay-per-view.
If you say it so, then it's so.
I say it. Again, I like facts.
Exactly.
I am fact-filled.
Exactly.
After his win over Frazier, Tyson was booked to fight Jose Ribalta at the Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey in 1986. Ribalta would hit Tyson in the body throughout the fight. Tyson knocked down Ribalta 3 times in the 2nd, 8th, and 10th. When the referee called the fight off, Tyson would go on to say that Ribalta was his toughest fight, commenting, "I hit Jose Ribalta with everything, and he took everything and kept coming back for more. Jose stood toe-to-toe with me. He was very strong in the clinches."
That was probably very flattering for Jose.
Oh, it gets better. Ribalta was a game fighter who actually engaged me. I felt nauseous from all of Ribalta's body blows, even hours after the fight.
Wow.
I never felt that much general pain again. Tyson came to the attention of gaming company Nintendo. After witnessing one of Tyson's fights, Nintendo of America president Minoru Arakawa was impressed by the fighter's power and skill, prompting him to suggest Tyson be included in the upcoming Nintendo Entertainment System port of the Punch-Out arcade game. In 1987, Nintendo released Mike Tyson's Punch-Out, which was well received and sold more than 1 million copies. It has retrospectively been considered one of the greatest games of all time. Tyson had 3 fights in 1988. He faced Larry Holmes on January 22nd and defeated the legendary former champion by knockout in the 4th round. This was the only knockout loss Holmes had in 75 professional bouts.
Wow.
In March, Tyson then fought contender Tony Tubbs in Tokyo, fitting in an easy 2nd round TKO victory amid promotional and marketing work. On June 27th, 88, he faced Michael Spinks. Spinks, who had taken the heavyweight championship from Larry Holmes via 15-round decision in 1985, had not lost his title in the ring, but was not recognized as the champion by the major boxing organizations. Holmes had previously given up all but the IBF title, and that was eventually stripped from Spinks after he elected to fight Jerry Cooney, winning by a TKO in the 5th round rather than IBF number 1 contender Tony Tucker, as the Cooney fight provided him a larger purse. However, Spinks did become the lineal champion by beating Holmes, and many, including Ring Magazine, consider him to have a legitimate claim to being the true heavyweight champion. The bout was, at the time, the richest fight in history, and expectations were high. Boxing pundits were predicting a titanic battle of styles, with Tyson's aggressive infighting conflicting with Spinks' skillful outboxing and footwork. The fight ended after 91 seconds when Tyson knocked Spinks out in the 1st round.
I love it.
Many consider this to be the pinnacle of Tyson's fame and boxing ability. That I remember. That's why I was saying, like, I think it was because Tyson's fights were always like billed so high, and he knocked everybody out in like the first.
Right. And we were teenagers by then, like older teenagers, and able to pay more attention to things like that.
I guess that's why I thought, because when I was going through the Holyfield ones, I was like, wait, he didn't knock everybody out.
Yeah, I knew he was a great boxer, but I didn't know how great.
During this period, Tyson's problems outside the ring were also beginning to emerge. His marriage to Robin Givens was heading for divorce, and his future contract was being fought over by Don King and Bill Gate. In late 1988, Tyson parted with Bill manager Bill Caton and fired longtime trainer Kevin Rooney, the man many credit for honing Tyson's craft after the death of D'Amato. Following Rooney's departure, critics alleged that Tyson began to show less head movements and combination punching. By 90, Tyson seemed to have lost direction, and his personal life was in disarray amidst reports of less vigorous training prior to Douglas in Tokyo. Tyson was a huge favorite in his fight with Douglas. Indeed, the Mirage, the only casino to put out odds for the fight, made Tyson a 42-1 favorite. Tyson failed to find a way past Douglas's quick jab and had a 12-inch reach advantage over his own. Tyson did catch Douglas with an uppercut in the 8th and knocked him to the floor, but Douglas recovered sufficiently to hand Tyson a heavy beating in the subsequent 2 rounds. After the fight, Tyson camp would complain that the count was slow and that Douglas had taken longer than 10 seconds to get back on his feet.
Cheating.
Just 35 seconds into the 10th round, Douglas unleashed a brutal uppercut followed by a 4-punch combination of hooks that knocked Tyson down for the first time in his career.
Yeah, sounds like he was Feeling pretty okay.
He was counted out by referee Octavio Mayrin. The knockout victory by Douglas over Tyson, the previous undefeated baddest man on the planet and arguably the most feared boxer in professional boxing at the time, had been described as one of the most shocking upsets in modern sports history. I do remember that as well. Mm-hmm. Despite the shocking loss, Tyson has said that losing to Douglas was the greatest moment of his career. I needed that fight to make me a better person and fighter. I have a broader perspective of myself and boxing.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. After the loss, Tyson recovered with first-round knockout of Henry Tillman and Alex Stewart in his next two fights. Tyson's victory over Tillman, the 84 Olympic heavyweight gold medalist, enabled Tyson to avenge his amateur losses at Tillman's hand. The bout set up an elimination match for another shot at the undisputed world heavyweight championship, which Evander Holyfield had taken from Douglas in his first defense of the title. Tyson, who was the number one contender, faced number two contender Donovan Razor Ruddock on March 18th, 1901 in Las Vegas. Ruddock was seen as the most dangerous heavyweight around and was thought as one of the hardest punching heavyweights. Tyson and Ruddock went back and forth for most of the fight until referee Richard Steele controversially stopped the fight during the seventh round in favor of Tyson. Tyson and Holyfield fight was scheduled for November 8th, 1991 at Caesars Palace in Las Vegas, but Tyson pulled out after sustaining a rib cartilage injury during training. Tyson was convicted of the rape charge on February 10th, 1992 and was released in 95. After being paroled from prison, Tyson easily won his comeback bouts against Peter McNeely and Buster Mathis Jr.
Hell yeah, he did. He had nothing but time to exercise.
Exactly. Tyson's first comeback fight was marketed as He's Back and grossed more than $96 million worldwide, including a United States record $63 million for pay-per-view television. The viewing of the fight was purchased by 1.52 million homes, setting both pay-per-view viewership and revenue records. The 89-second fight elected criticism that Tyson's management lined up tomato cans to ensure easy victory for his return.
Well, I mean, that's not a bad idea. You got to work your way back in.
TV Guide included the Tyson McNeely fight in their list of the 50 greatest TV sports moments of all time.
Well, there you go.
In 98, Tyson attempted to defend the WBA against Evander Holyfield, who was in the fourth fight of his own comeback. Holyfield had retired in 94 following the loss of his championship to Michael Moore. It was said that Don King and others saw former champion Holyfield, who was 34 at the time of the fight, as a huge underdog as a washed-up fighter. On November 9th, 1986, in Las Vegas, Nevada, Tyson faced Holyfield in a title bout dubbed Finally. In a surprising turn of events, Holyfield, who was given virtually no chance to win by numerous commentators, defeated Tyson by TKO when referee Mitch Halpern stopped the bout in round 11. Holyfield became the second boxer to win a heavyweight championship bout 3 times. Holyfield's victory was marred by allegations from Tyson's camp of Holyfield's frequent headbutts during the bout. Although
cheater,
the headbutts were ruled accidental by the referee, they would become a point of contention in the rematch. Tyson and Holyfield fought again on June 28th, which is why I did it this week, 1997. The highly anticipated rematch was dubbed The Sound and the Fury, and it was held at the Las Vegas MGM Grand Garden Arena, site of the first bout. And if anybody ever wanted to, sponsor us, the MGM Grand Garden Arena would be great.
She dreams big.
I know. You gotta reach for them stars.
Hell yeah.
And it was a lucrative event, drawing even more attention than the first bout and grossing $100 million. Tyson received $30 million and Holyfield $35, the highest paid professional boxing purses until 2007. The fight was purchased by 1.99 million households, setting a pay-per-view buy record that stood until May 5th, 2007, being surpassed by Oscar De La Hoya versus Floyd Mayweather. Not gonna tell you what happened.
I can't stand Floyd Mayweather. He just jumps around the ring out of reach.
Yeah.
He's a joke. A very rich joke, but still a joke.
Holyfield won the first 3 rounds. At 2:19 of the first round, an overhand right punch from Holyfield stunned Tyson, but Tyson fought back immediately, pushing Holyfield backwards. At 32 seconds into the second round, Holyfield ducked under a right punch from Tyson. In doing so, he headbutted Tyson, producing a large cut over Tyson's right eye, although trainer Richie Giacchi believed the injury happened in the first round. Tyson had reportedly complained about headbutting in the first bout between the two fighters. Upon reviewing replays, referee Mills Lane stated that the headbutts were unintentional and non-punishable. As the third round was about to begin, Tyson came out of his corner without his mouthpiece. Lane ordered Tyson back to his corner to insert it. Tyson inserted his mouthpiece, got back into position, and the match resumed. Tyson began the third round with a furious attack. With 40 seconds remaining in the round, Holyfield got Tyson in a clinch, and Tyson rolled his head above Holyfield's shoulder and bit Holyfield on his right ear.
That was so nuts.
A 1-inch piece of cartilage was torn from the top of Holyfield's ear, which Tyson spat out onto the ring apron.
It was just so crazy, but so amazing. Like, all at the same time.
Holyfield leapt into the air in pain and spun in a circle, bleeding profusely from the bite wound. Lane stopped the action, but Tyson managed to rush Holyfield from behind and shove him into his corner. Lane separated the men, moved Tyson to a neutral corner, and went back to check on an enraged Holyfield. The fight would be delayed for the next few minutes as Lane decided on what to do. Lane called Mark Ratner, the chairman of Nevada's athletic commission, up to the ring apron and informed him that Tyson had bitten Holyfield's ear. He was going to disqualify and end the fight. Meanwhile, ringside physician Flip Homansky was performing his own check on the champion, and Lane decided to defer to him. Once Homansky cleared Holyfield to continue the fight, Lane decided to allow the bout to continue, but not before penalizing Tyson with a 2-point deduction.
That's so badass.
As Lane explained the decision to Tyson and his, asserted that the injury to Holyfield's ear was a result of a punch.
Come on.
Yeah.
We all saw it.
Yeah. During another clinch, Tyson bit Holyfield's left ear. Holyfield threw his hands around to escape the clinch and jumped back. Tyson's second bit just scarred Holyfield's ear. At the time of the second bite, Lane failed to notice it and did not stop the match. And both combatants continued fighting until time expired. The men walked back to their respective corners, and when the second bite was discovered, the match was halted again. Soon to become one of the most controversial events in modern sports, the fight was stopped at the end of the third round, with Tyson disqualified for biting Holyfield on both ears.
Man, they should have let that shit go. Like, Tyson, you're disqualified, but you two still
Just
fight it
go.
out, and let's see what happens.
Tyson later stated that his actions were retaliation for Holyfield repeatedly headbutting him without penalty. In the confusion that followed the ending of the bout and announcement of the decision, a near riot occurred in the arena and several people were injured. Tyson Holyfield 2 was the first heavyweight title fight in over 50 years to end in a disqualification. After the match was stopped, Tyson went on a rampage at Holyfield and his trainer, Brooks, while they were still in their corner. Lane told Tyson's corner that he was disqualifying Tyson for biting Holyfield. To protect Holyfield, security surrounded him in his corner, and Tyson was taken back to his corner by security. Lane was interviewed and said that the bites were intentional. He had told Tyson not to bite anymore, and Tyson asked to be disqualified by disobeying that order. Holyfield left the ring seconds after the interview, which gave the fans and audience the hint that the match was over. Holyfield told the press afterwards that Tyson bit him because he knew he was going to get knocked out, and he chose to lose in a disqualification instead.
That's fair.
Reporters then interviewed Tyson's instructor, John Hume, who was upset about Lane's decision. Horn said they will have to explain that. I do not agree with it, but it is what it is. All I know is Mike Tyson had a cut in his eye. Horn also attempted to justify Tyson's biting by claiming it was retaliation for the headbutts. One headbutt might be accidental, but 15 is not. 25 minutes after the brawl ended, announcer Jimmy Lennon Jr. read the decision. Ladies and gentlemen, this bout has been stopped at the end of round number 3. The referee in charge, Mills Lane, disqualifies Mike Tyson for biting Evander Holyfield in both ears. The winner by way of disqualification and still the WBA heavyweight champion of the world, the Evander Holyfield. As a result, Holyfield remained the WBA world heavyweight champion.
Neither one of us has said, "Are you ready to rumble yet?" I'm kind of disappointed.
You know why? You
in
can't. You know he has that trademark, right?
Oh, shit. Never mind. Forget I said that.
Yeah, he has that trademark. Tyson still was going with that. It was for the headbutts. Later, during post-match interviews, Tyson was walking back to his locker room when a fan from the venue tossed a bottle of water in his direction. Tyson, his instructor, and a pain manager climbed over a temporary railing and up the stands, made obscene gestures to the crowd, and made their way up to the side of a stairwell. Tyson had to be restrained as he was let off.
Can you imagine being in the audience and Tyson's coming after you?
No.
Dear God.
I am an angry person.
I'd rather have
probably square up with Mike Tyson and just take the beating. I deserve it.
You'd die.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Even better.
I forgot. That's not a threat to you.
Nope. That is not a threat to me. Tyson had to be trained. When interviewed about the championship and the incident with Mike Tyson, Holyfield said he already forgave Tyson for biting him. The commentators for the Sky Sports broadcast of the bout, Ian Darke and Glenn McCrory, noted that no one had been disqualified in a title bout for more than 50 years, correctly estimating that the last disqualification was during a bout between Joe Louis and Buddy Bayer in 1941, where Bayer was disqualified after his cornerman refused to leave the ring in protest of what they believe was a late hit. They also compared the match to the long count fight and the Phantom Punch incident.
You know what? It really is pretty crazy that for 50 years, nobody got disqualified for as brutal and knuckleheaded as that sport is, for them to stay within the rules and the boundaries for 50 years. Like, that's pretty impressive.
As fallout from the incident, $3 million was immediately withheld from Tyson's $30 million purse by the Nevada State Boxing Commission, the most it could legally hold back at the time. 2 days after the fight, Tyson issued a statement apologizing to Holyfield for his actions and asked not to be banned for life over the incident. Tyson was roundly condemned in the news media, but was not without defenders. Novelist and commentator Catherine Dunn wrote a column that criticized Holyfield's sportsmanship in the controversial bout and charged the news media with being biased against Tyson. July 9th, 1997, Tyson's boxing license was rescinded by the Nevada State Athletic Commission in a unanimous vote. He was also fined $3 million and ordered to pay the legal costs of the hearing. As most state athletic commissions honor sanctions imposed by other states, this effectively made Tyson unable to box in the United States. The revocation was not permanent, as the commission voted 4-1 to restore Tyson's boxing license on October 18th, 1998. And that is where I stopped, because that is the end of the Tyson Holyfield. But
yes,
I have fun facts.
Thank God.
This one is the most fun fact ever.
Oh,
I mean, in the history of fun facts, this one, I decided, greatest fun fact ever.
Okay.
Holy Ears Edible is in a humorous turn of events. Tyson and Holyfield teamed up to launch a line of ear-shaped cannabis edibles called Holy Ears.
Shut the fuck up.
Playing on the famous biting incident. The ear-shaped THC-infused Holy Ears snacks are released via the Tyson 2.0 global company, in which Holyfield is set to launch his own line in 2023.
What?
Mike and I have a long history of competition and respect for one another, and that night changed both of our lives. Back then, we didn't realize that even as power athletes, we were also in a lot of pain. Now, nearly 20 years later, we have the opportunity to share the medicine we really needed throughout our careers.
That is the funnest fact ever.
And Tyson echoed the sentiment, saying, if I was on cannabis, I wouldn't have bit his ear. Holy Ears gummies are said to be 25 milligrams per piece and arrive in 3 flavors, including cherry pie punch, sour apple punch, and black eye berry. They are all natural, names. Vegan, and gluten-free.
Ah.
And they're $30.
A piece?
Per bag.
Oh, okay.
So that was my favorite. Yeah. I do have others. Tyson appeared in The Hangover.
Yes, he's so good in The Hangover.
Famously performing Phil Collins in The Air Tonight. Tyson
and then punching Zach Galifianakis out.
Yes. Tyson adopted a vegan diet later in his life. When the Olympic torch was on its way to his hometown of Atlanta for that year's Olympics, Holyfield was granted the opportunity to carry it in 1996.
Aww.
Holyfield established Real Deal Records, which he used to sign the band Exhale, which saw brief success. Boxer Evander Holyfield and business partner Rochester Johnson Jr. established Real Deal Records on February 11, 1999. And they have quite a few rappers.
That's
and a well-known
cool.
Filipino singer, New Wine.
Very cool.
Exhale. I do remember Exhale.
I remember Exhale.
Holyfield appeared on the premiere season of Dancing with the Stars in 2006. Although his first dance with partner Edita Silwiski earned him a reputable 18, he was eliminated after his third performance, which received a low score of 13. Though new to dancing and eliminated early, Holyfield was praised by judges Len Goodman, Carrie Ann Aneba, and Bruno Tonal. I don't ever watch the show.
Me neither.
For his effort and improvement. Holyfield also had a video game released for the Sega Genesis and Game Gear, Evander Holyfield's Real Deal Boxing. Holyfield's popularity has led to numerous television appearances for the boxer. His first television appearance was the Christmas special of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in 1990.
Aww.
He played himself. Other television appearances over the years include Home Improvement, Living Single, New York Undercover, and NCIS Los Angeles. Holyfield had minor roles in 3 movies during the 90s, Blood Salvage, Necessary Roughness, and Summer of Sam.
I remember Necessary Roughness.
He made a guest appearance on Nickelodeon's game show Nickelodeon Guts during its third season in 94. He appeared once in an episode of the children's animated series Phineas and Ferb. In the episode, he is an animated character, but the producers wanted to make the most of Holyfield's ears, so his animated character was only given half of an ear. In 2006, Tyson appeared as himself in a cameo role in the film Rocky Balboa. Yes. A Hangover, I said. In early March 2015, Tyson appeared on the track Iconic on Madonna's album Rebel Heart. Tyson says some lines at the beginning of the song.
I didn't know that one.
I didn't either. He actually had a couple of songs. He's appeared on a couple of different albums singing.
He's not good because he sings in one of the Hangovers.
Yeah.
At the end, maybe the second.
I don't remember
one.
I have to watch it. Last one. Both appear in the movie Grudge Match with Stallone and De Niro, Kevin Hart, and the LL Cool J.
Hottest man on the planet ever.
So there you have it. That's the Tyson Holyfield.
That was so much fun.
Saga.
So much fun. I learned so much. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Thanks. I did the build up because, well,
I'll have to play this episode for my cat Tyson so he can learn
knows
about his namesake.
I just think Tyson, I remember, I feel like Tyson has come so far.
That's why. So the rape, obviously we have expressed many times we're not okay with that. And it is not okay that he did that. And he did not serve enough time for what he did, for the damage that he caused to that woman. However, he actually made something of himself and he actually overcame his circumstances and didn't go on. I mean, he could have went on and raped and beat and whoever the hell he wanted to and just been a dirtbag. And I don't know all of his personal life. I don't know if it happened again somewhere else. But I feel like considering where he came from, he really, really made a concerted effort and was successful in making himself a good person.
I feel like he did. I mean, obviously, I don't know his personal life after that either.
Right.
I don't think anything has come to light since.
Nothing's come to light, but that doesn't mean somebody didn't get paid off.
That's what I'm saying. So that's why we wouldn't know about it. So,
right. I mean, I'm not naive, but I do feel like
I also feel like people would have come out by now.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And after someone else comes out, usually the other ones feel braver to step up because they know they have support and they're not the only one.
Yes. It's never, nobody ever gets enough time for rape.
And I feel like I watched a documentary. I almost want to say we talked about Tyson in a college class that I took once. And we did. Because we went really, really deep into his childhood and like all the things he went. And it was awful. Yeah. It was really bad.
You have to say it's the problem with a lot of the true crime also is one of my podcasts say it, you can feel sorry for the child.
Correct.
But then as an adult.
Correct.
And
which is how I feel about myself. I feel sorry for my child self.
Yes.
But I have worked my whole entire adult life to get myself to where I am.
Yes. I am also a believer in when you pay for your crime, which again, he did not pay long enough, but
Correct.
And then you try to redeem yourself.
Correct.
I think that I know I am in the minority of the Mike Vick. I know I'm a dog lover.
I do the same thing with him as well. It's the culture he came up with. That's what you did when you were wealthy.
Do you honestly want to know how I feel about Mike Vick? I think he got railroaded. I don't think you cannot tell me that man in the middle of his NFL career was going into a room with a bunch of dogs that could rip his damn arm off.
True.
And discipline anything, kill any. He wasn't. They set him up because they thought he could get out of it because of his money. And I really think that's what happened. I really do. I really think he took on the brunt of that because they thought that he could get out of it because of his money. But I do not. I wasn't there, so I don't know, but it is my belief.
Well, my thought on it was always kind of, it's a cultural thing. And in some cultures, that's what you do. I mean, that is a sign of success and wealth that you have these things go on. But so maybe to him, I've made it. I can do this. I don't know. It was if he was involved, I think it was just a stupid mistake.
Yeah.
And it probably, as soon as he got arrested, he was probably just like, whoa, what the fuck am I doing here? So, yeah. And he has really turned into a really upstanding guy as well.
And that's what I'm trying to say. In this country, it's very important to remember that what we try to do, not always very successfully, but it's the whole point of the penal system used to be. Now the whole point of the penal system is just to take money from people. But
exactly.
It used to be rehab. You used to, you really
and that's
did.
how a lot of countries are now. It is a rehabilitation facility.
Because just having the same people roll in and out and in and out, and the recidivism is ridiculous. So I don't know. I probably shouldn't go too deep into it, but
yeah, we'll save that for another day.
Tyson did not kill Jake Paul, and that's unfortunate.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho.
So that's that about that. Thanks for listening. You can like, share, rate, review, follow us where you listen to podcasts.
Please.
You can follow us on all the socials. Please tell a friend. And you can send us an email about what your favorite Tyson fight was.
Yes.
To likewhateverpod@gmail.com or don't like whatever.
Whatever.
Bye.